Hey, good evening, everyone. My name is Dan Whitfield. I am the Common Sense Democrat running for United States Senate here in Arkansas to unseat and replace Senator John Bozeman. And I do a weekly live stream update Q&A every single Saturday night at about 6 p.m. Central. And today it is February the 27th. We've had a very interesting week here in Arkansas. Our state legislators have shown exactly how partisan a state can be when a singular party has such control over the state. So I'm going to talk about several different bills tonight that passed here in Arkansas over this last week. I'm going to talk a little bit about where we are with COVID, of course, where we are with my previous campaign court case for ballot access, because we got a little bit of new news, nothing major with that. And then, of course, as always, this is a Q&A. So as I'm here talking with you all about what's going on in our state, feel free to ask any questions and I'll answer them. And if I don't get a chance to answer your question this evening, then you can always send me a message, a phone call, an email, or whatever, and I will make sure to get back to you. But let's kind of just jump right into it here this evening. All right, so our COVID numbers are going down. Governor Asa Hutchinson has actually extended our state of emergency for, I believe, another 30 days. So I think it's in March 28th or something like that is going to be where our state of emergency is. And he has, I think he's relaxed the mask mandate, and now it's more, or the mandate is in place until the 28th, but he has relaxed restrictions on businesses and social distancing and things like that. So they're now no longer mandatory, but voluntary. I mean, some of the good news is our numbers have gone significantly down, and we do have a lot of vaccine doses to still. All right. I hope we don't have a terrible OBS day. Let's see here. Let me open this up real quick, make sure we are still good. It's going to be one of those days. All right. Well, Caster appears to be working, so that is good. All right, we're back on, I think, with everything. Anyways, back to it. Our COVID numbers are starting to get a little bit better, and our governor has actually reduced the age for phase 1B for eligible citizens to get the vaccine down to 65 years of age. So that should really help get more vaccines out there that we need to be getting to the people who need them the most vulnerable amongst us. All right, let me minimize that back up. Oh, my Facebook one is going to act up and it's going to make it so that I need multiple. Let me try, sorry guys, 1 second, just bear with me. I'm going to restart my Facebook and see if that makes it so I don't have to actually start a whole new post with a new stream. But anyways, maybe I will do a phone Facebook live stream on here. And then if I have another problem with OBS this evening, I will just, there we go. Well, it looks like it started up a new stream. But if we have any more issues with OBS, I will stream from my phone so I don't have to deal with that. But anyways, what I was just talking about before I was so inconveniently interrupted, I'm trying to get my questions, my comments pulled back up for Facebook. Just 1 second. Let me pull this up here. All right. So the governor has lowered the age for the vaccines for the phase 1B down to 65. All right. That's kind of where we're at right now with COVID. Things are starting to look better, but just because things are starting to look better doesn't mean you no longer need to wear a mask, socially distance, and wash your hands and things like that. You need to, still take care of yourself, take care of your family, and make sure that you're keeping the people around you safe as well. All right. Upcoming meetings this week. I don't have any Democratic meetings. I know Fourth Monday should be pretty, fairly busy, and it looks. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry, guys. I haven't had a problem in a few weeks with OBS. I'm not sure what the deal is, but I'm going to go ahead. And I'm going to stream on Facebook straight from my phone. That way I don't have to make multiple different posts again on here. Let's just close that Facebook down there. Yeah, this is 22721. All right. All right. Let me move this over here and we'll get all set up. Hey, how are you guys doing? I restarted my live stream from my phone since OBS is disconnecting and reconnecting. Fortunately, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter don't really have an issue when it does that occasionally, but Facebook will actually just cut the video down. So let's get out of that. Give me 1 second to connect onto here so I can see the comments coming in. And then we should be all good to continue, because I do have a lot to talk about tonight. We had a lot of crazy stuff happen here in Arkansas, and I really want to go through it with you. I will actually be going over. Let me click on this. That occasionally. All right, let me mute that. And then we should be set to go. All right. But I do have a lot I want to talk about. These different bills. I think there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different bills that are really important that we need to discuss. So I think I should be straight to see on my phone and everything. Awesome. Sorry about that, guys. I apologize. Oh, forgive my hair. It is getting long. I need a haircut, but COVID. All right. So moving right along. Let's just go the meetings this week. The first district Democrats are holding a meeting tomorrow. So it's at 4 p.m. I'm going to attend that meeting. And also the Central Democratic Socialists America are holding a meeting at the same time, their monthly meeting. So I'm going to try to figure out how to join both of these meetings at the same time. I could delegate one of them out to one of my volunteers, but I'll see if I can listen to them both at the same time. That way I can kind of see what's going on in these different areas. But that's kind of what we have going on for tomorrow. And what I was starting to get at for as far as upcoming meetings goes, unfortunately, it looks like a lot of the Democratic County meetings have actually switched from their normal schedule, or at least the schedules that they post online on their social media or on their webpage, stating that like it'd be the fourth Monday of every month or something like that. But in fact, it's actually now the second Monday. So I will continue looking through the different county party meetings to see when they are, to see which ones are going to be this week so I can attend those. I attended the Boone County Democratic meeting last week, and we had an amazing guest speaker, Denise Garner. She's just so amazing. I love all the different things she does for her community. We're very lucky here in Arkansas to at least have a state representative like that who is really looking out for us and keeping our best interests at mind and at heart when she's voting up there. And she even helped explain some different things that are really important. Like someone had asked her a question. A lot of people don't know, but our Democrats are so severely outnumbered that any piece of legislation that the Republicans want to put forward, it's going to pass almost no matter what at this point. As long as it comes out of committee, she had let us know that during committee, they usually have discussion and debate. But after a bill comes out of committee and goes up to the floor, by that time, pretty much everyone knows how they're going to vote. So they rarely have discussion or debate once it's on the floor. It's a very rare thing, but they did it recently with like SB 24, the Stand Your Ground bill, because it was so conflicting. But that really, it hits home with me, because when you think about how they discuss in committee amongst this small group of people, this small group of people controls the fate of this bill. If they want it passed, they pass it through the committee, and almost every single time it's going to pass on the floor. So we need to make sure we're paying attention to what bills are in committee, what they're talking about, and we can do that through our it's arleg.state.ar.us website. And I'm also going to go over the website again this evening when I start talking about the bills, so we can read them together and show you a little bit again how to use this website, because it's such an amazing tool that a lot of people don't know that we have as Arkansans, as residents here in our awesome state. So, thank you so much again, Denise. I will be speaking, the guest speaker at the Boone County Democratic Zoom meeting next month. I'll make sure I get that as soon as they have it scheduled. I will share the schedule and all that information for y'all if you guys want to join and kind of find out a little bit about what's going on in Boone County, because we really need to start networking and organizing at a state level. We need to make sure that we aren't just sticking to our own little counties and paying attention to what's happening, here in our own communities. We need to be grouping together with the rest of the state, organizing and making sure that we're helping each other, that we're helping each other find candidates, that we're helping support each other's candidates, that we're doing all these different things so that we can start to take our state back from the Republicans, because it's not going to happen as long as we don't have massive a grassroots groundwork organization. All right. But that's kind of all that's going to happen this next week. Just a couple meetings for tomorrow, and then I'll keep my eye out for the rest of the week. So, as far as my ballot access hearing, I did make a post about it just the other day. And let me go ahead and just share my window capture here. So, it was a very important post. Let's see here if I can find it. Wow, does this say I'm still live on Caster as well? Okay. Oh my gosh, Caster is really killing me. All right. All this good stuff. Okay, so we finally got this letter, and it was a really interesting letter. I don't think you can read it from here. I think I had actually downloaded it. Let me see if I can. We're here. We'll do it this way. If I go to my website, I just updated my website as well. Oh, no, I need to get rid of that pop-up still. I apologize. If we go to ballot access, I believe it's on ballot access 2 of 2. Okay, now letter of dates. Oh, no, okay. I guess it's going to be ballot access 1 of 2. There we go. Okay, so open image, a new tab. Now I should be able to blow it up. Well, that's just no bueno. All right. We will do it a different way then. Let's go ahead and open up the picture. We'll do an image capture here. Oh, got to move my live stream. And then I'll just add the image right here of the recent letter that went out. Here we go. All right, so now we can kind of, let me close this window capture. Transform this to fit my screen. All right, and now, cool, I think we can read it. All right. Let's do image. Let's blow you up just a little bit, and then I'll just move you around as we read it. All right. So the docket text that's here, this is kind of new. The judges basically reviewed the earlier briefs that were put into place for our case. And after reviewing the briefs, they've determined that we will have an oral argument. Now, they added this on here just 4 days ago. It says, Judge Order, this matter is set for oral arguments on Thursday, March 18, 2021. I believe it will be at 9 a.m., if I remember correctly. After review of the briefs on record, the court has determined that supplemental briefing is required on the question of whether the appeal is now moot, considering that the 2020 election is over and that the appellant Whitfield does not appear to be running as an independent candidate in the 2022 election. The supplemental briefs shall not exceed 10 pages and are due by March 3rd, 2021. All right. And here are some public emails as well. If you guys want to reach out to anyone on this list to let them know what's going on, Nicholas Jacob Brony is the assistant of the Attorney General Leslie Rutledge, who has been fighting our ballot access. William W. Hyman, he was my old lawyer. He's not my lawyer anymore. He actually was my lawyer until after our first ruling came out from Judge Baker. And then after Judge Baker's ruling, he actually left working for me and went to go work on the Libertarian Ricky Harrington's campaign. So I need to, I know, I need to figure out how I can get him removed from this information. Mr. Dylan Jacob Hines, Assistant Solicitor General. He also works for Leslie Rutledge. James Linger, he is my attorney. Mosley, Mr. Michael Allen Mosley, he is also an attorney for the Leslie Rutledge's office. And in fact, he's kind of a liar. When he gave his closing statements during our hearing, he stated a lot of lies. And I wish that we could hold the people accountable for that stuff, but unfortunately not. And Mr. Wagner, let's see, I believe he's also, looks like, with the Attorney General's office. All right, but the point of this is the judges are trying to find out if our case is moot or not. Well, fortunately, our case is not moot. My lawyer, we've already talked in depth about this. I have actually reached out to ballot access historians and specialists who have dealt with issues like this before, and our case is not moot. They're not going to throw it out. We will have our day in court, and we will talk about it, and we will figure out exactly what is going to happen as far as if we will use this case to set precedent for future independents running for office, stating the Constitution of the United States, the 14th Amendment, Section 1, where we have the Equal Opportunity Clause, because we have to, or the Equal Protections Clause, we have to make sure that an independent candidate seeking to hold a public office is following the same rules as everybody else seeking to hold a public office. We can't have libertarians with an open 90-day period and an independent with a fixed 90-day period. We can't have United States Senate candidates with 10,000 signatures required while we have United States President independent candidates with 1,000 signatures and things like that. So we are going to continue this case. It's already paid for. I don't have to pay anything else. We paid for it with our last campaign when we were still fighting for ballot access back in June. So everything that goes from here can only be positive for the most part. All right, let me close that back up and let me close this down. All right, move this around to there. Cool beans. So that's kind of where we're at right now with our ballot access hearing. We should be turning in our brief. It's due Wednesday. I'm expecting my lawyer, I think he said he would have it done Monday. So we should get that turned in Monday. Once he files our new brief, I will upload that document to my website like every other court document. So you can actually go on my website, view the document that has been filed. You can download it from there and do whatever you would like with it. All right. So we've talked about COVID, the upcoming meetings, my ballot access hearing update. So I want to talk about very specific bills that are going to affect us here in Arkansas that were just passed by our legislators. Man, it's crazy how Jason Rappert is like spearheading all of these terrible pieces of legislation. Go figure. All right. Let's see here. Let me go ahead and share my window one more time. All right. So this is an amazing website. This is a great tool that we here in Arkansas are very fortunate to have. Honestly, I would like to have something like this at the federal level. That way we can see everything going on in the House and the Senate. But this is great. So the first bill that I want to talk about, and these are in no specific order because they're all of very equal importance. Of course, just real quick, abortion ban. Oh my gosh, denial of healthcare based on religious principles, defining sex and preventing, trans athletes from participating on teams. I mean, this is crazy stuff. So we're going to get down into the nitty gritty of some of this stuff. Let's see here. So the first one, let's just go over this House bill real quick. We got House Bill 1112. So this is to amend the law concerning voter identification, to amend the law concerning verification of provisional ballots, and to amend Amendment 51 of the Arkansas Constitution. Let me see. Can I get rid of this? I can't. All right. It's going to make it kind of hard to read. Oh, well, this is as good as we can get. All right. So basically, some of the really important things to take note of when we read this bill. And all I did here was actually on the state legislative homepage, you just enter in the bill number and hit the search button, and you can click the little PDF button, and you can pull up any bill that our state has passed in the past. They should all be digitized by now. And you can also see everything that they're working on currently. So again, this is an amazing tool. Make sure you're using it when possible. All right. So the first things to notice are if they strike a line through something, that means they are removing this current. They're amending our Arkansas State Constitution, is what they're doing when you see these lines going through. Now, when you see something underlined, that means they're adding to the Constitution. So they're just trying to amend this bill, is what they're doing right now. And they're basically the voter complete a sworn statement at the polling site when voting. On election day. So what they're trying to do is they're trying to get rid of provisional ballots, basically, which is just amazing because realistically, provisional ballots had nothing to do with how crazy our election was. If anything, provisional ballots saved just countless Arkansan lives in 2020. But they don't like that what had happened with President Joe Biden getting all of the provisional votes at one time, where it made it seem what's the word I'm looking for? Where they made it seem like it wasn't fair, like there was some kind of scheme going on. Well, the thing is when they counted these provisional ballot votes, number one, the majority of people who voted provisionally are the ones who took COVID seriously, the ones who didn't believe it was a Democratic hoax. Mostly Democrats. And when you had so many Democrats voting provisionally early, they had all of these votes and they were all tallied up and they would enter them at one time at a specific time. And when they did that, they'd be like, oh, President Trump was 10 points ahead and now he's 10 points behind. So they're cheating. Well, no, they just entered in the tally from the provisional ballots, counted. So they're really basically at war right now with provisional ballots. They don't want people to be able to vote provisionally. They want people to go in to vote. So you can just see all of the different ways that they're trying to remove. Let's see, where's a good example? The voter complete a sworn statement at the polling office when voting either early at the polls or on election day. So they're just removing a bunch of different clauses from here so that people won't be able to vote. And let's see, there's that rapper again, Clark, Irvin, Johnson rapper. They don't want people to be able to vote provisionally. But that's a really important bill. So keep an eye on HB. Where is it at? HB 1112 right there. Let's see. Let's go right through this. We'll do SB 289. All right. To create the Medical Ethics and Diversity Act. So SB 289 is going to allow doctors to refuse treatment on an Arkansan patient based on their religious beliefs. So if you go to see your doctor and you're very, very sick, you're ill, you need something done immediately, and you mention that you went to Mass. So now your doctor knows you're a Catholic. Well, my religious views won't allow me to help a Catholic. So you need to leave my office and you're no longer welcome here. They can do that now. It's insane. And that's just, of course, an extreme example because people will be like, oh, why would they ever kick a Catholic out? Well, what about a Muslim? What if you're a Muslim in religion, which is the largest religion on our planet? Which, I mean, and if you think of a Muslim terrorist accounts for like 0.00000000001% of the totem Muslims. It's just insane. But if you go to see your doctor and you talk about maybe your Muslim faith, now they can be like, oh, you're a Muslim, so I'm not going to see you anymore. Oh man, I just realized y'all on Facebook probably cannot see what I'm posting on here with the bills. That's too bad. Okay, it actually looks like I am. How could I still possibly? Probably cannot see I have no idea. Okay, I guess I'm live. If you're on my Facebook stream on my phone right now, you can hop off and go over to my other one, and then you can see my screen shares on there. I'm gonna close this one down. I don't know why it's on both of them. It shouldn't be. Anyways, all right. And now that's just religious views. So they can, refuse right for being a Muslim. Now, at the same time, they could be like, oh, well, a man and say his husband comes in to have a procedure done or to get a consultation or something like that. And the doctor finds out, oh, well, he's gay. So now it's against my religious beliefs to help this person. So now they can discriminate based on sexual orientation. If they, find out, oh, well, you're transgender. Now I can discriminate based on sexual identification. It's just insane. I can't believe this. I mean, I really can't believe this. I don't know what these people are thinking. The status right now is they read the first time, rule suspended, read the second time, referred to the Committee on Public Health, Welfare, and Labor in the committee. So this is sitting in committee right now. And as we had talked about a little bit before, was that once it passes committee, there's very little discussion about it. So make sure you talk to your local representatives and you let them know, especially if they're on the Committee of Public Health and Welfare, how you feel about this bill. This is one we really need to keep an eye on. All right. Let's do SB 138. Oh, this is actually a really important one too. I didn't really see this one in the news as much. This is a newer bill. It's just ordered and rolled. But this is a really important one. And as you can see, the title, to amend the law concerning campaign finance, contributions and reporting, to reenact the requirement to file a statement of financial interest, and to amend portions of the Initiated Act 1 of 1990 and Initiated Act 1 of 1996. So let's jump right into this guy here. And what's very important, you got it? Okay, good. I usually tend to look at what they're striking out, what they're removing, and then what they're adding. So one of the things that's really interesting, it's kind of hard to read. I hope you guys, okay, well, let me blow up my screen here and see if I can read this. Oh, look at that. If I do it that way, wow, now we can actually read it. So it says, it shall be unlawful for any candidate for public office, any person acting in the candidate's behalf, or any exploratory committee to solicit or accept campaign contributions more than 2 years before on election at which the candidate seeks nomination or election. This subsection shall not prohibit the solicitation or acceptance of a contribution for the sole purpose of raising funds to retire previous campaign debt. All right. So what that means is currently it is illegal for candidates to seek campaign contributions more than 2 years before their election. That's really, 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 really interesting, because when was Leslie Rutledge at the White House seeking contributions for her governor campaign? Was that more than 2 years before the 2022 election? Something to look into. All right, maybe one of y'all want to check that out and see if Leslie Rutledge was breaking the law while hanging out in Washington, D.C., spending tax dollars to party at a super spreader code event. All right, moving on. But that's SB 138, so make sure, of course, to keep an eye on that as well. All right, moving right along. We only have a couple more to talk about. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more. All right. So let's do SB 306. All right, SB 306, permitting a concealed handgun license to carry a concealed handgun in a municipality or a municipally owned or a maintained park. So this is a very interesting piece of legislation that they have here. Let me make this bigger real quick. All right, there we go. So they are basically adding on here concerning exceptions to the offense of carrying a firearm in a publicly owned building or facility is amended to add addition subdivision to read as follows. If the person has a license to carry a concealed handgun under so-and-so and is carrying a concealed handgun in a municipally owned or maintained park, park is a good keyword there, now or another similar municipally owned or maintained recreational property, which is a very vague definition of a place, except for those portions of a municipally owned or maintained park or recreational property that contain a football field, baseball field, soccer field, or other sports field where an athletic event or practice is occurring at the time. Municipally owned or maintained buildings. So they're basically trying to make it so that if you have a concealed carry license, you can carry basically at a park, is what it's trying to come down to. And I'm not sure exactly if I agree with this. I think the route that they should take before doing something like this would be to. I'm not sure exactly what I think about this. I don't really like it though. I don't want really people carrying on parks. It is good that they have removed, sporting events basically. And it's actually important here where it says is occurring at the time of, because this was an issue that they had addressed in the past as well. Because what if you were at a football field and nobody was there, you're by yourself? So it has to be at the time of a sporting event. But we just have to be careful of what kind of gun laws are being passed, because with SB 24 and the new standard ground law, this is just going to give people the ability basically to stand their ground in more places. So we want to be careful, because I believe Trayvon Martin, was he gunned down in a park? And it is, I know that is very interesting the way they mention sport complexes, but not playgrounds. So yes, that will allow someone to carry at a playground. Let's see here. All right, so moving on. That one was SB 306. I'm going to be keeping my eye on all of these, and I'll let you know how they progress. Right now, this was just returned to committee with the recommendation that it do pass. So there's a good chance this one will pass, but it is back at committee right now, and I'll keep an eye on that guy. We'll do SB 1245. Oh, that is SB 1245, right? Oh, where are you at? Let's try doing a Google search. Let's see here. Just going through this way. Let's do summary. Correctly enrolled and transmitted. Where can I find the text on this? Oh, there we go. Wow, now it's really, really small. I wonder why it wasn't popping up through the AR Ledge website. Because it's definitely House Bill 1245. Oh, here we go. That's why. House Bill 1245. All right. Here we go. Apologize. Let's see here. So HB 1245 is to allow confidential juvenile records to be released to the Department of Corrections. Now, what's really, really interesting about this is if you look at the wording, how these records will be requested and who they will be released to. So this is a new bill for the most part. It's all underlined, so there's nothing really new here. Let's see here. The Department of Corrections, for the purpose of creating a risk assessment, classification plan, or supervision plan for each juvenile who has an extended juvenile jurisdiction, comes under the supervision or enters into the custody of the Department of Corrections as an adult from the Division of Youth Services. The Department of Corrections shall promulgate rules for the implementation of this subdivision. So the Department of Corrections will basically create their law following the guidelines of this text. The rule of the Department of Corrections shall prescribe the procedures for requesting confidential juvenile records under this section and the manner in which the record shall be used. The Department of Corrections shall submit the rules of the following committees for review: the Senate Interim Committee and the House Interim Committee. So basically what they're trying to do is they're trying to allow the Department of Corrections to unseal sealed juvenile records. And unsealing sealed juvenile records is not a good thing. I mean, they're sealed for a reason. If we start, going down this slippery slope, then eventually we're going to have employers looking at mistakes kids made when they were kids. And it's just not a good idea, in my opinion. So I'll keep an eye on that. The House Bill 1245. Change that S to an H here. All right, so just a couple more. Thank you for bearing with me. This is all just such important stuff, and we've got to know what's going on in our community, in our state, behind, I can't even say behind closed doors, but when no one's really paying attention, because a lot of these things aren't going to make it to the news like the Stand Your Ground bill did. All right, so the next one is going to be SJR 16. This is the one Leslie Rutledge was so proud of. All right. An amendment to the Arkansas Constitution that providing that interscholastic or intramural athletic teams that are sponsored by a public school shall be expressly designated based on biological sex. All right. Okay, so this is from Senator Clark. So let's just, this one, it's not that long. We can kind of just go through some of the important stuff here. The designation of athletic teams, the provision of this section are part of the maintenance of a general, subtle, or suitable and efficient system of free public schools under Arkansas Constitution. Interscholastic and intramural athletic teams that are sponsored by a public school shall be expressly designated as one of the following based on biological sex: males, men, or boys; females, women, or girls; or co-ed or mixed. Athletic teams or sports designated for females, women, or girls shall not be open to students of the male sex. The General Assembly may enact laws to implement this section, including without limitation laws concerning protections for public schools from compliance, investigations, or other adverse sanction or actions for maintaining a separate interscholastic and intramural athletic teams on sports for students of the male and female sex, and cause of action for injunctive relief damages and any other relief available under the law for a student who is deprived of an athletic opportunity or who suffers direct or indirect harm resulting from the violation of this section. Okay, a student who is subject to retaliation or other adverse action by a public school as a result of reporting a violation, and public schools that suffer any direct or indirect harm as a result of a violation for this section. Effective date. And this is very interesting. I've noticed a lot of the effective dates for the different bills that are going around right now. The amendment shall be effective on and after November 9, 2022, which will be after the next governor takes control. And then they gave it a popular name. All right. The title of this joint resolution shall be at the ballot title. All right. Ballot title, popular name. Okay, so I'm reconnected again on everything except for Facebook. That's too bad. Man, these get frustrating. All right. So moving right along, my Facebook stream just started right back up. Make sure that's still going. Everything except